All right, let's just talk about your season so far. You guys earned the number 2 seed in the WAC tournament, first round bye. After the tough non-conference schedule, does it surprise you, or is it kind of what you expected?
Well, it's certainly when we drew it up, this is how we didn't draw as many losses up in the non-conference. It was a difficult schedule, but we kind of circled some games that we didn't get the results that we were looking for. But with that being said, the idea was certainly to put ourselves in a situation where we'll have experienced everything in the non-conference. So when we got to conference, we could kind of utilize and kind of tap into those experiences and then hopefully get results and be a more seasoned, be a more battle-tested team for the conference play, and that certainly worked out. So that's definitely what the intention was, and it looks like the staff now drew it up right. So that's obviously always beneficial, and it's always nice when it works out the way that you intend for it to work out.
Now I know that the intent is to go get a result in Seattle on Saturday, final regular season game.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have the 2 seed locked up, is there a thought that maybe to rest people, or is it just keep playing, keep having that same mojo going that you guys have?
Yeah, so we've had discussions we've had discussion with the captains, we've had discussions as a staff, and everything leads to we're going to go play it straight up, and we're going to try to get a result. This program hasn't won in Seattle yet, so that's another box that we can kind of check off. We want to try to get a win. We want to be 6-1 in the conference. We don't want to be 5-2. And personally, I want to get 10 wins on the season. The reporters all, when I got the job, we're talking about coming off 3 10+ win seasons, and I don't want to drop that ball. I don't want to be the guy that comes in and doesn't get 10. Certainly we'll have an opportunity next weekend as well to get a couple of wins, so we may get to 10 regardless of what happens this Saturday. But we want to be 10-10. We feel like we're better than a 10-10 team, but we're gonna go play them. We're gonna start the same lineup that we've started the last 5 games. Now with that being said, if somebody takes a little bump or a bruise, come next Friday, they're gonna have to play through it. Come this Saturday, we'll probably get them off the field, and we'll be a little precautious, but we're going with the intention to try to win the game.
Do you like how the WAC tournament's set up, where there's a day in between each match to kind of get rest and recovered for the next day?
If they're gonna have 6 teams, I think that setup makes sense. I personally don't think there should be 6 teams. I personally think that there should be the top 4. I think they should do a semifinal on Thursday. I think they should give 2 days rest and do a final on the Sunday. So for us, it would be even better if it was a Wednesday, Saturday, right? But I think some of the Power 5 conferences traditionally play with 2 days rest in between. I think that's the way that you're going to get the best quality match in the final, because I think the players will be properly rested. I think it's really tough to go and try to win 3 games in 5 days. Not saying that it can't happen, but it's difficult. So that's why in this format, the bye is crucial, and certainly that was something that we definitely wanted to achieve. Talking about it at the beginning of the season, is we need to find a way to be 1 or 2 in the conference. Obviously, the intention was to be 1. Kansas City has had a great season, but with that being said, we're proud to be 2, and we are hoping and look forward to an opportunity to play them again.
It's probably been brought to your attention with the last time UVU women's soccer had a first-round bye. They won the WAC tournament. What are your thoughts on that, and just keeping your girls focused on that first match and not looking ahead?
Yeah, we can't. We can't look ahead. There's no opportunity to try to win a championship if you don't get the result in the first one. So we've not talked about the second one much. We're worried about, and we're concentrating on Friday, and then as soon as the whistle blows on Friday, hopefully it goes our way, and at that point then we'll be in a position where we've got just over 24 hours to figure out what the next one is. And the other thing is that with 3 teams over on the other side of the bracket, and right now we feel pretty comfortable that we know who number 1 and number 5 is over there. But we don't know who 4 is. We don't know who 3. It doesn't make much sense to try to plan for so many variables that haven't been cemented yet.
You got potentially the player of the year in the WAC and Brianna.
I hope so.
Talk about what she's meant especially in the conference, what she's done so far.
Yeah, I mean, so if we just look at the last 3 games, she's got 5 goals in the last 3 games with three game-winning goals. I've always said that special players have to show up at special moments, and she's done all of that. And it's of no surprise. I mean, she's an absolute class act. I hope that she gets Conference Player of the Year. Not sure if that's going to happen or not, but I think she's deserving of it. The thing about Bree that, and everybody in the country can go and look at the stats, and the stats are impressive. The things that you don't see are that she's our hardest worker at training. She's a great teammate. Like when we say, hey, let's clean up the gear, she's the first one to be picking up cones and balls and bibs. So there's no ego involved with how good she is, and certainly she's surrounded by other good players, and she'll be the first one to credit the team. But she's a good kid, and she's a really, really, really good soccer player.
Who are some of the other ones that have kind of stuck out as the season have gone on, that have had great individual seasons maybe, but have also been great team players?
Well, I mean, Tori has been, looking at what she did her first 3 years here, and then all of a sudden, being a 90-minute player for us, being a captain, scoring goals, and she's got the same mentality as Bree in terms of being a fantastic leader and just a fantastic teammate. Tori has had a great year and has been, she has been, we know what we're going to get with her day in and day out, whether it's a training, whether it's a game, whether it's a team meeting. She's bought in and she's all in. She's been fantastic. Libby is like the mom of the team and runs the show, and I think Hannah has been unbelievable this year. She's been really good. I think Brooklyn has come on at the right time. Sid Fitzpatrick has been, a very dangerous weapon up front, throughout the entire season. So, I mean, there's been, luckily, and that's how you get the results that we've gotten as of lately, is that there's been a lot of them that are kind of hitting their stride at the right time. I think Lindley's done a good job kind of coming out of her shell. She's always been a great soccer player. One of her, biggest assets wasn't necessarily her communication, and now she's starting to talk where people can hear her. So Cass has done a good job as a freshman, starting as a freshman. Amber Tripp has scored a couple of goals as of lately. Bree McCarter is kind of like coming into form and been dangerous. So I think that as a whole we've been kind of hitting the stride at the right time.
What was the turning point? You look back at the season, like you said, the non-conference wasn't really what you were hoping it was going to be.
Sure.
But what was that turning point that just kind of sparked the run through the WAC?
Yeah, I think there is a definitive time, but I thought we played well against Washington State, so I think that gave us some self-belief that we can go and compete with a Pac-12 team. Washington State just got done beating UCLA last weekend. I thought we played, ironically, the score line didn't show it. I thought we played well against BYU. We were amazing against Texas A&M, who's right now number 8 in the country, and to lose with 17 minutes left on a penalty kick, and we had chances. I mean, they were the better team, but at the end of the day, we walked out of College Station with our heads held high. And then certainly that first Seattle U game certainly built confidence within us, but the turning point, the in particular time, and the kids would tell you the same thing, is we didn't get the result we wanted, didn't play to what we think is our potential against UMKC in the first conference game. And Seth and I are in the hotel room, and after the game I addressed him pretty even-keeled. And after the game I addressed him pretty even-keeled, though I was pretty worked up. So we traveled from UMKC to Chicago, and I kind of had let it build. We were doing a team jog and stretch, kind of a recovery session, and we were in the hotel, and we did it in the parking lot at Chicago, and that's when I addressed the team. And it was raining and it was windy, and we were standing in a parking lot about to do a jog and a stretch, and we had a heart-to-heart. And I think that was probably the in particular moment that we had a decision to make. What was this season going to be? Was it going to continue to be us finding a way to lose and underachieving and underperforming, or were we going to be able to live up to what I think our ability is? And I called them out. I mean, I pointed fingers. I explained that I was not happy and that this level was not going to be accepted. So it was pretty direct. It was a pretty direct, in the rain, in the wind, in the middle of Chicago. And then sure enough, the next day we went out, scored 9 goals, and we haven't looked back since.